Grace and peace to you from Jesus Christ, and welcome to the fourth week of Lent. Now, we've been following some big moments in the history of God's interaction with humanity so far in this Lenten season, and this week we hear this curious tale of poisonous serpents. It begins, as happens a lot in the book of Numbers, with the people grumbling. Now, they've recently come out of Egypt where they were slaves and where life was very difficult, and they're now in the wilderness, and God has been providing for them. Manna every morning, this bread-like substance. And when they complained about that, God gave them quail to eat as well. And God has also been providing water from rocks. And then the people say to Moses and to God, "Why have you brought us up out of the land of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and there's no water, and we detest this miserable food." They are ungrateful for the provisions God's given. And this is a repeated theme in the book of Numbers. The people have these rose-colored glasses when they remember their lives in Egypt, being worked to the bone by Pharaoh, given less and less food with more and more work. Under Pharaoh, they were perishing, and God delivered them from there. And now it seems they've forgotten. So, almost like a reminder that God delivers these perishing people, poisonous serpents begin to bite the people, and they are again perishing. The text says that the Lord sent the serpents. Now, in the time when these stories were written, it was essential that everything happened because God willed it to be and made it happen. For God to be God and to be in control, God must be controlling every little thing. But Jesus' conversation in our gospel lesson reorients this thought a little. He compares himself to the serpent, but to the serpent that was lifted up. You see, the people asked Moses to tell God to take away the snakes. They knew they'd not kept God the priority in their lives, and they were sorry. So God told Moses that the people's cries were heard, that Moses should make a serpent and put it on a stick raised up for the people to look at. And God would heal those who were bitten and who looked at the snake. So Jesus says that Jesus, as God's self-revelation to the people, came not to condemn the world, like the serpents that bit the people, but came that the world might be saved through him. So see, as faithful Christians, we need not think about God as directing the bad along with the good. And neither must we think of God as distant or having no interest or power in the day-to-day details of our lives. Instead, we know that all manner of things happen every day, bad and good, extraordinary and mundane. And in all of it, God is with us. Jesus walks with us through the dangers of this life, and in the midst of it stays with us and opens the gates to eternal life. Jesus points out that snakes happen, and God may not take away the fiery serpents, just as God will not again flood the earth and drown away all flesh for its corruption. But God does open the way to healing and to eternal life even in their presence. When the Israelites looked on the bronze serpent raised up, God would heal them. So too, when we keep our eyes on God, revealed in Jesus Christ, we find a way out of the poison that we encounter in life. Beneath the cross of Jesus, looking up to him, we see that all the promises of God are true. God looks on us with steadfast love, with faithfulness and mercy, and God chooses us as partners in blessing the world. So even though our actions will continually, like venom from a snake, lead to our own demise, even though we will continue to turn away from God and our neighbors, we are reborn again, new again and again in the waters of baptism, looking to the crucified and risen Lord as if gazing on the bronze serpent. We have forgiveness, life, and a partnership from the same one who was raised up on a cross and crucified, the same one who rose again to show his love for the world. the same one that came to dwell with us, to walk with us, so that the world might be saved through him. God saves perishing people and makes them alive together with Christ.